Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Lewis Tait. I'm glad that you're joining me today. Hope that you've had a great day. I'm just wanting to come on for a moment to, first of all, to thank all of you for um, your support and being present um, throughout these weeks with me. And at some point, we all just need a little break. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks as we sort of do some upgrades and some different kinds of things to the show. I have a wonderful, wonderful team um, that work with me, and I'm just very grateful for them because they do a wonderful job. And that's Christian um, Massey and Rachel Massey. And I really appreciate what they're doing. And it just gives so much to me in this whole process of producing the show. But so we're just going to take a break for next couple of weeks, and we may show some of our old shows in the meantime. But we'll be back on July the 5th with some new content and just ways in which you stay in touch with us. Good to see you, Elder Jackie. And so I just want everyone to know, yes, I'm just taking a little hiatus to break. So I'll be back on July the 5th, and I hope that you remain safe. There are a lot of things that are going on in June. Of course, Juneteenth, it's June 19th is when the last African Americans in our country down in Galveston, Texas, found that they had been freed. Of course, there's many stories around why it took 2 years from their plantation owners wanting to harvest one last crop. All kinds of stories. It's amazing. And then, of course, this is Music Month. Um, and that is something we all can kind of be involved. Black Music Month, and so we can definitely take advantage of being involved with Black Music Month. And of course, at the village, we are Father's Day is coming up. We'll have a drive-through on Father's Day, so you're welcome to come to that. But just pray for us. This has been a great time for the Village Church, and particularly Tuesday Spark for my show. And it's like everything else; you just need to take a little break to kind of get yourself together. And as some of you know, we've been off of Facebook for a minute, so hopefully by the time we come back, we'll be there. But also, we want to sort of drive you to our YouTube page so that you can subscribe. So at the bottom, subscribe to um, my YouTube page, which is Dr. Lewis T. Tait Jr. And so you can do that. And so we want you to make sure that you subscribe. And it just simply means that you'll get alerted when we come on, and you'll have the content. Um, so anything that we do, anytime that we come on, you'll get alerted. Sometimes through email, and sometimes through pop up on your phone, or your iPad, or your computer. And so we encourage you to subscribe and to really check us out. And this is, hopefully you will get some rest yourself this summer, or take care of yourself. And I know some of you will naturally do some things and take a break, but also be safe. Because even though many of us believe or think that this pandemic is over, we know that it's just a lot that we don't know, a lot that we're not being told. And it's a lot we don't understand, even though I think some people are really they're giving us the best information that they know. But also, the country, people are a little antsy being in so long, they want to be out. And so be careful. I mean, when you can wear a mask, I would suggest that you do that. and take care of yourself. And also, when we return on July, we'll probably look into this whole issue that's going on with this whole thing around race, particularly critical race theory. We'll definitely be looking into that to talk about, um, what are people actually afraid of, or what are they trying to hide? What is it about real history, which is American history? Often we say Black history, which is true because we've been denied the full story, or as full as we can get it. But there's a real there's a lot of history that's missing in our country. There's a lot of mythology around these stories, in particular how it's sort of like propaganda, if you will. It builds a myth, particularly about white people and their place and what they've done in this country and even in the world. And it's not, in fact, just it's not about pointing fingers. It's just about laying out what the truth is. And of course, when people who know what the truth is and understand what has been done in history and how that history continues to affect our lives today, then people can decide to do something different. And that's the whole thing, that people have the opportunity to then ask questions. Children can ask real questions. And, why would one group enslave another group? And a lot of times you can't, you have governors now who want to shield parts of the population, mainly white, from learning the truth about America. Something I learned the other day, I didn't realize that, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, both of them, they had African American chefs, black chefs. George Washington's chef, his name was Hercules. That's an interesting name, but he was a magnificent chef. Um, and when um, George Washington would travel back and forth from Virginia to um, Philadelphia, because at that time Philadelphia was the capital of the United States. He would take his chef with him, Hercules. And Hercules, of course, would see these other freed African people, freed black folks in Philadelphia, because Pennsylvania is one of the first states to sort of outlaw slavery. And of course, he's still, a slave to George Washington. Yes, George Washington. And, he wanted to be free. And so George knew that, and would make sure they wouldn't stay too long in Philadelphia. So Hercules wouldn't um, taste of freedom. So at some point, Hercules decided he was going to run away, and he did. And of course, they never found him. And also, Thomas Jefferson had a magnificent African chef, African American black chef named Hemmings. His last name. He was, both of these guys were just great chefs, and I never knew about that. And so, a lot of times when you tell these stories, I think even George Washington had over 600 slaves. And Thomas Jefferson also had a number of slaves. And these are the founding fathers that people talk about with such reverence. And the thing is this, it's horrific in terms of what they did. And so you have to look at all of what they did and be able to critique them and talk about these kinds. So we'll deal with that when we come back, and some other kinds of things. And my team, just really appreciate them, Ray and Christian, because they just do a good job. And so we got to do a little equipment upgrades and some other kinds of things. And also these things affect our church as well. So we're just in a great place. We're just grateful for you supporting us, and you can always continue your support by going to the Village website, and you can contribute there through Givelify or through the Cash App. I mean, we'll take any gift that you have to offer to help to support what we do in our ministry and in this as well. So, if you have a cash app, you can certainly do that and take the opportunity to support the work that we do. Um, and any amount is appreciated in terms of your support and your prayers as well, and any comments that you may have about the kind of things that we do. And so we're just grateful for just this opportunity to share. And so I want to just let you all know that. In the last thing, and I'll be sharing this with you, part of my journey is that I'm also going back to school to do an MSW degree, Masters of Social Work, in the fall. And so I'll be sort of tracking that journey and talking about what it means to go back to school after being out of school for some 27 years. And so, but I'm excited about that. I was accepted in the 4 schools, and I've chosen one to go to. And I'm happy about that. Washington University in St. Louis, the Brown School of Social Work. And so, and we'll be talking about that because hopefully there'll be some things I can share with you about my own journey, my own trepidations, my anxiety, and things like that. But it's just a part of life. And sometimes I hope that my story and my journey will hopefully encourage someone else who may have been considering, I don't know, either going back to school or um, doing something, whatever it is, something else that you wanted to do. Um, and I think it's important that you take advantage of all the things you can take advantage of. And sometimes we count ourselves out before we even get started. You know, somebody would say, "Well, why are you doing that? You already got 3 degrees, or you look how old you are," whatever stuff people say. It's like, as long as you're living and you want to accomplish something, then you should go for it. And I always consider myself a lifelong learner. And if I live 3, 5 more years, or 10, or 15, or 20, whatever those numbers may be, those years still go by. I could be accomplishing something that I wanted to do for a while, and wed the two together in terms of social sciences and my theological religious background. And so, I hope that when I start to share, that you will think about something that you've been probably maybe been putting off, like I had been for the last 10 years, and maybe think, well, it's not too late for me to do this or try this, or um, to go for something. I did put the church's website up right now. That's where you need to go to get other information about even Tuesday Spark. But I want to just thank all of you. I mean, just for your support and your um, allegiance, and hopefully we can grow our community together, and just feed off the things that we've been doing. Remember, it's. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm really just trying to get you to think. That's what it is. Tuesday Spark. It's about trying to get you to think and to be open to maybe some different ways of looking at life and perspectives. So that's basically what I want to say this evening, and keep me in your prayers, and have a wonderful and blessed evening, and be careful wherever you are. Take care. God bless.